beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about this brand new big giant palette from ColourPop. This is the Bare Necessities palette. This is launching on Thanksgiving this Thursday, November 28th. It is 30 shades, and I don't have a confirmed price on this yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be the same price as the other 30 pan palette that they have released, which is the So Jaded palette in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. That one's priced at $39, so my best guess is that this will also be $39. I'm gonna try to get some confirmed details from ColourPop, and then I'll either add those pricing details on the screen here or down in the description box for you. Alongside the Bare Necessities palette, they're also launching this brush roll. The roll and the brushes are completely vegan, so it's all synthetic. This looks like leather, but it's faux leather. All the brushes have synthetic bristles. The information that I have about this so far says that of these 16 brushes, 5 are existing favorites, and then there are 11 new brush shapes in here. I haven't tried these, obviously you can tell how clean they are, but they feel super soft. I love ColourPop brushes. I think that their brushes are very underrated, and they're definitely some of my most loved and most used in my entire collection. These are super pretty too. It's kind of a throwback to their original brush launch. This is one of their original brushes. They were pink with the rose golds, but they had the darker bristles. This is the new style. This is the brush style that's been permanent on their site, so it's white with the silver. So this is the original release. These are the current permanents, and then this is the brush style from the brush roll. So these look like the OG brushes, which makes me really happy. I've been loving these brushes since they first released them. I did just want to quickly mention these since this is launching alongside the Bare Necessities palette. I do think this is going to be a great value. I love the ColourPop brushes, and I always recommend their brush bundles. And this little brush roll is really nice too. So I just got my hands on this. I haven't used it yet, but it does seem really nice. Okay, let's get back to the Bare Necessities palette. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today, but I'm not going to show you a tutorial. Instead, I'm going to do a bunch of comparisons. I've done so many neutral eyeshadow tutorials, even specifically from ColourPop, so I'll link some of those down in the description. If you do want to see some of those tutorials, you can check out those other videos. I felt like our time would be better spent on this palette doing comparisons instead. Let's take a close-up look here. First of all, the outside is a heavy-duty cardboard. It does have a magnetic closure, and it has this sort of snakeskin print. It matches the brush roll. It does feel very luxurious, and I can tell you this is really easy to clean because all these swatches I've been doing, I've been making a huge mess in this palette. When you open up here, there is no mirror inside, and you can see all 30 shades here. We have absolutely no eye safety warnings, no glitter, no pigment warnings, so yay for that. The way this palette is laid out is by row. So on the top row we have very cool toned or extremely neutral shades. The second row is warm tones, very peachy orangey type of colors. The middle row has pinky, purpley, mauvey type of shades. The second to last row has very warm toned, deeper shades, bronzy, reddish type of tones. And then the very bottom row is all very dark shades. So this is basically every type of neutral shadow you could ever want, that's for sure. We are seeing a mix of finishes in here. We have 13 true matte shades, 6 mattes with glitter. The black shade here on the bottom, it kind of has a satiny texture to it. It's not perfectly matte. It's not like their single shadow called Let's Do It. It has a little bit more of a shine feeling to it, but it's not a shimmer, it's not a matte, so I'm gonna call this one a satin. And then the remaining 10 shades are very metallic shimmers. Let's go ahead and get into the swatches of just the Bare Necessities palette first. I'm gonna go row by row. I'll show you both finger and brush swatches of each and every shade in this palette. The finger swatches will be on top, and then the brush swatches will be below. All the swatches are done on my bare arm, just the shadow straight onto my skin, no primer. And of course, all the brush swatches are done with my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, which I clean off in between each shade using my Via Ramona color switch. That way we don't get any shadow transfer between swatches. So let's take a look at those swatches now. Now you've seen the Bare Necessity palette swatched in its entirety, I want to go ahead and do a bunch of palette comparisons with other neutral eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop. I chose 6 palettes from the ColourPop line that I thought most closely match the shades that are in this Bare Necessities palette. I'm sure there are others that you would like to see this compared to, so I will open up the swatch requests on my Instagram stories. That's a place where I take requests and then I'll swatch the things that you want to see compared. Probably not going to do that for a while. It is a holiday week. I'm going to have family here, so I'm going to be focusing more on that than on my social media, but I will eventually open up my swatch requests for this Bare Necessities palette. But for now, I'm going to be comparing it to these 6 palettes. First, we're comparing to the Going Coconuts palette, and Going Coconuts is swatched on top, and then just the most similar shades from Bare Necessities will be swatched directly below. Next up is the Night Owl palette. This was previously Ulta exclusive and is now available on the ColourPop site. This is the Double Entendre palette. This is a very warm tone neutral palette. This one has been around for a while on ColourPop's site. Next up is the You Had Me at Hello palette, and I believe that this palette has been discontinued. I don't think it's available any longer. At least last time I went looking for it, it wasn't there, so I think You Had Me at Hello is discontinued now. Now we're gonna look at some comparisons with the I Think I Love You palette. This is a long time favorite for me, one of their first OG palettes. And the last palette comparison is with the Give It To Me Straight palette. Hopefully these swatch comparisons are useful for you guys. I know a lot of people are going to want to see this compared with things like the California Love palette or the Brown Sugar palette, something along those lines. I just picked the 6 that were the most similar. So certainly other palettes are going to have overlap shades for sure. But as you saw from those comparison swatches, these are almost exactly duped out in this Bare Necessities palette. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because if these other neutral palettes have been on your wish list, or for example that You Had Me at Hello palette, which I believe is discontinued, if you've been wanting these palettes, if you've been kind of waiting, saving up, waiting for a sale, it might be more economical for you to just go for the Bare Necessities palette. So even though a lot of these palettes are super similar, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, unless you are just a complete ColourPop freak like me and you already have all of these other palettes. Then, you know, you definitely don't need the Bare Necessities one. But hey, if you decide to get it anyway, no judgment here. I'm the last person that's gonna judge you for wanting a ColourPop palette. I will say, after lots of swatching, after using this palette, I do think the formulation's really nice in here. The only 2 shades that I struggled with were this really cool purpley, almost duochrome type of shade called Cufflinks, and the satiny black shade called Spyglass. Those 2 did just need a little bit extra building up to really make the color show up, but otherwise I'm very pleased with the formulation in here. These metallic shades are gorgeous. We do have a couple of duochromes in here. The Talk and Designer Duds are definitely duochrome. This one called Cufflinks is brown to purple duochrome, so it's not really that high flash, high contrast, but it's there for sure. I'm not a huge fan of mattes with glitters, but I am glad that there's no pressed glitter in here. There's no eye safety warnings on here. Overall, very happy with this palette. I just don't know if it's a staple if you already have a lot of these other neutral palettes, but that's kind of up to your discretion. I want to end off this video giving you all of the Cyber Week deals. Since ColourPop's Cyber Week sales start on this Tuesday, I'm gonna try to get this video up on Tuesday. I might not make it up until Wednesday, I'm sorry. On Tuesday, they're launching all of their holiday vaults. Then on Thursday, the Bare Necessities palette and the big brush roll launch. On Friday, all the 4th Ray holiday sets will launch. On Saturday, all of the faux lashes, so the falsies, are all going to be $5 a piece. And then on Monday, December 2nd, their holiday collection launches. The big sale for their Cyber Week is 30% off site-wide, so fill up your carts because this is the time. 30% off everything. I don't know if there will be exclusions. Usually they're newer collections and sometimes their collaborations are excluded from those big sales, the site-wide sales. That's another thing I'm going to double check on, and I will note in the description box whatever I find out for you guys. All right, now's the time when I want to know what you think about this Bare Necessities palette, the brush roll, all of the sales and everything. I always love to hear what you guys think about things too, so please leave your comments. Let's start a conversation down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I tried to do something exciting with this palette by using that pink duochrome, but look, it's a neutral palette, okay? It's not pretending not to be. Ooh. This blush roll. Just opened it up and it's just a bunch of blushes. It's a brush roll, okay? I'm fine, okay. Just regroup. You got this, you got this, okay. Swatches, I'm gonna go row by row. Have I ever mentioned that I hate filming when people are home? That way we don't get any transfer shadows. What? That way we don't get any ma'am. Sale for Cyber Week. I just don't know if it's a necessity. I'm gonna stop, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go edit this, so hopefully I can get it up in time. Okay.